Have you ever gotten a free refill at a fast food restaurant? You know, you pay for your meal and then you get to go back and get free refills on your drink. Well, there's a principle in life that I call the Samson Delilah principle, which says that the more free refills that you get, the less valuable each one becomes. In other words, if something is free, it's not as valuable as something that you have to pay for. Now, this is why Samson and Delilah is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Let me read the setup for the story in Judges chapter 13. There lived a man in the mountain region of Ephraim who had 2 sons. Now, before the Israelites went to war with the Philistines, the angel of the Lord came and told him, "You will conceive and bear a son, and he will begin to save the Israelites from the hands of the Philistines. From birth, the child will be dedicated to God. He will drink no wine or beer, or have a razor to his head. He will be a Nazirite set apart for God, and he will begin to save Israel." So the woman conceived and gave birth to a boy, and he was named Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him, and he delivered Israel from the power of the Philistines. So Samson was basically like a VIP, a very important person. He was like royalty. He was a judge, a deliverer, a warrior, but his parents didn't realize it. They didn't understand what God had planned for their son. And so, they took baby Samson down to the local Philistine city to dedicate him to God. What they should have done was taken him to Shiloh, where the tabernacle was, where God's presence dwelt, where they could offer burnt offerings to God. But they took him to a place where the people would have hated the very idea of giving a child to God. And when the people saw Samson, they were like, "No way, we want to keep this kid." So they took him and made him into a slave, working in the fields, doing hard labor from the time that he was a little boy until he was a grown man. And during that time, he didn't have any relationship with God. He didn't have any understanding of his identity, because he was surrounded by people who felt resentment towards Israel. Then in Judges 14, when Samson was a young adult, he went to Timnath, where there was a large group of Israelites gathered together, and that's when he met Delilah, and she was a beautiful woman. And actually the word beautiful doesn't do her justice. She was captivating, enchanting, stunning, gorgeous, lovely, pretty. And Samson immediately fell in love with her. And so he went to see her, and he said, "Hey, I want to marry this woman," which was a big mistake. It was a major error in judgment. Samson was a man of God, a judge, a deliverer, and he was looking for a wife. That's fine. But he should have gone to Shiloh, where God's presence was, where the tabernacle was, and found a godly woman who feared God, a woman who loved God, a woman who could help him fulfill his destiny. But instead, he chose Delilah, who was a woman who didn't know God and didn't care about God. And she represented everything that Samson was running from, everything that he was supposed to be escaping from. And so this is the point of the story. This is the application for us. We can get a lot of things for free in our lives. And the more free things that we get, the less valuable each one becomes. And so for some of us, we get to choose whether or not we will put God first in our lives, whether or not we will honor God. Or we can take the Delilah approach and say, "I don't really care about God. I don't really care about my relationship with God. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my freedom. I want to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it." But that kind of life has a cost. It costs everything. For many of us, if we reject God and ignore God and try to live life our own way, we might get to experience a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of fulfillment, but at the end of the day, it won't be enough, and we will have lost everything. Do you know Jesus? Have you received him as your Savior? Do you follow him every single day? Or are you just kind of going through the motions? Are you living a life that honors God or a life that dishonors God? Well, I hope that you will choose to live a life that honors God, a life that glorifies God, a life that puts God first, because that kind of life has eternal rewards. It's an investment that will pay dividends for all of eternity. And I hope that you will also share this video with someone else, someone who needs to hear this message today. So go ahead and click that share button, and let's get this video out to everyone. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an upload. And thanks for watching.